Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. US President Joe Biden has formally confirmed that he will run for re-election in a campaign video release setting up a likely rematch with predecessor Donald Trump.
Freedom. Personal freedom is fundamental to who we are as Americans.
The video sharply outlines America's culture war. He said it was a pivotal moment with freedoms and rights under threat.
This shouldn't be a red or blue issue. To protect our rights, to make sure that everyone in this country is treated equally and that everyone is given a fair shot at making it.
Vice President Kamala Harris will once again be his running mate.
That's why I'm running for re-election. Because I know America.
Mr. Biden, at the age of 80, is already the oldest president in US history.
I know we're still a country that believes in honesty and respect.
And is likely to face questions about his age throughout the campaign. He would be 86 after finishing a second full term in 2029. Reacting to the news, former President Donald Trump called Mr. Biden's first term a failure. A ceasefire in Sudan appears to be holding, although there have been reports of new gunfire and shelling. It is the fourth effort to stop the fighting, which began on the 15th of April, with previous truces not observed.
We've also continued to engage directly with General Burhan and General Hamedi.
US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the 72-hour truce had been agreed between the army and the paramilitary rapid support forces after 48 hours of negotiations. Meanwhile, the UK is beginning a large-scale evacuation of British people from Sudan. Families with children, the elderly and people with medical conditions will be prioritised on RAF flights leaving from an airfield near the capital, Khartoum.
I'm very pleased that a ceasefire has been announced by the leadership of the factions on the ground, and therefore we are initiating an evacuation plan.
Security sources say Turkish police have detained 110 people over alleged militant ties with a pro-Kurdish lawmaker, saying politicians, lawyers and journalists were among those held. The operation was focused on Diyarbakir, the largest city in mainly Kurdish southeast Turkey, and targeted people across 21 provinces, including Istanbul, accused of links to the outlawed Kurdish Workers' Party militant group. It comes less than 3 weeks before presidential and parliamentary votes that represent the biggest electoral challenge President Tayyip Erdogan has faced since his AK party first came to power in 2002. It's emerged that Britain's Prince William settled a phone hacking claim against Rupert Murdoch's UK newspaper arm in 2020 for a very large sum after a secret deal struck with Buckingham Palace. The papers were shown at a High Court hearing in which Prince Harry is suing News Group newspapers over alleged unlawful information gathering. They say there was a secret agreement between Buckingham Palace and NGN that prevented Harry from making a claim. But NGN says Harry has run out of time and denies any agreement existed. The case is one of 3 major allegations of unlawful information gathering that the Duke of Sussex has made against tabloid newspapers. The 37th edition of the famous Marathon des Sables is taking place in scorching heat in the Moroccan desert. In the women's race, Ragnar Debats is 17 minutes ahead after finishing the 31.7-kilometre second stage. Meanwhile, in the men's, it's the El Morabiti brothers who are leading. The race in the Sahara Desert consists of 6 stages and approximately 250 kilometres of running. And the toymaker Mattel has introduced its first Barbie with Down syndrome in a bid to make its famous doll more inclusive. In a statement, the company said it had worked with the National Down Syndrome Society in the United States to make the doll, which has a shorter frame and longer torso than its other Barbies. The new doll's face is also a rounder shape and has almond-shaped eyes, smaller ears and a flat nasal bridge.
I love it!
What do you think?
Nice, yeah.
According to the firm, the goal is to enable all children to see themselves in Barbie, while also encouraging children to play with dolls who do not look like themselves. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.